Greetings, Local 2627 sisters and brothers. Today is Hot Monday, July the 2nd, and I hope everybody had a good time over the weekend. Anyway, there's a few different subjects that I think might be of interest to a lot of people, so let me start off. Local Law 35, which is a law that the City Council passed unanimously that the mayor had vetoed, which gives the unions the right to look at any contracts that the city takes on with private vendors. Now, one of the things in this law means that we cannot be displaced or non-promoted because they're bringing in a private contract. We also have to have the ability to look at this contract and give a counter offer that we can do the job better and cheaper. Now, one of the things that's also covered under this Local Law 35, they cannot use attrition as an excuse, meaning somebody quits or somebody retires and use that as an excuse to bring in the private contractors. So if you see this type of thing going on, you need to let us know. If you know somebody retires and they bring somebody in from the outside, we need to see how they bring this person in and make sure this person is not a consultant. Now, Civil Service Law 65, Section G, which pertains to provisionals, Health and Hospitals Corporation feels that because the word may use disciplinary proceedings, have the right to disciplinary proceedings, HHC figures that, well, you know what, since the word may is used, they can decide whether they want to give due process rights or not. We're in court fighting this right now, but this is just another reason why we say that unions are there, because management's not going to do the right thing. New York City Police Department was requiring their civilian people to give in destinations when they go on vacation, on the vacation applications. We took this to court. We won in court. The judge now needs something for the police department. We won, like I said, but the judge wants something from the police department to define what they call essential personnel. Now, this could be a double-edged sword for us, because if you don't want to be declared essential personnel, which means you won't have to give a vacation destination, it could be a problem where the police department can say, well, you know, look here, since we can't locate you when you're out on vacation, we have to bring in consultants to do your work. So this is something that we're gonna have to think about, that our civilian employees are gonna have to think about, and the union's gonna have to think about how we want to go about this. I mean, this is something that we're gonna have a meeting with the police department, with the members, some of our members, this week, to discuss things like that. Another thing, suspensions. The agencies are allowed to suspend you for 30 days while you're waiting charges. Now, what I want to make people aware of is that your benefits stop, your health benefits stop when you're not on payroll. So the things that you would get, like prescription, optical, podiatry, and things like that, are very important. So if you're one of these people that go out on suspension, please make sure if you have prescriptions to fill and things like that, you do it during that course of time. Of course, which is a little bit of a hassle, if they do not bring up charges with you within the 30-day period, then we're gonna have to fight to get your money back from the period that you were out. Also, remember, on the 31st day, they have to return you to duty. They have to return you to duty, whether they have charges against you or not. Another thing I want to mention, remember, if you get arrested, if they take your fingerprints, you've been arrested. Please make sure you contact your agency. Please make sure you contact your agent. I don't mean verbally. You do it some type of way that people can actually see that you did it in writing, or you memorialize it in some type of way, because we've had a couple of cases where management has gotten amnesia when a member told them that they had a problem with the police or something like that, which has caused us to have to go to fight for them at a hearing. The city has asked us to sit down, us being DC 37, to sit down with them for contract negotiations. We have a contract negotiation session scheduled in September. This is for the citywide contract. Now, as far as CUNY goes, CUNY will not involve us in contract negotiations until they see what the city does, because they want to use the city's contract as a benchmark for however they're going to do. But I thought everybody want to know, we'll be sitting back at the table for some type of contract negotiations in September. We don't know how it's going to turn out. Of course, it's going to be just another session, but I mean, maybe we can iron out some of the things. Now, the controller has admitted, or I wouldn't say admitted, that's the wrong choice of words. The controller is letting the city know that there's $24 million in fees that are not being collected from these cell phone antennas. Now, DC 37 had estimated that it was about 25 million. The controller has found out that it's actually 24 million dollars that's not being collected, which they're in the method, which now they're using the method to go out and starting to collect these. There's also $400 million in uncollected taxes, property taxes from businesses and whatnot, 400 million a year that the controller's office has located, and they're going to work on trying to get these taxes collected. That's a lot of money. We're talking about 24 million and 400 million. You know, that's a lot of money. That's $500 million. Another thing, we've had guarantees that there will be no layoffs for ACS and DOE and a few other agencies over the next year, during this next fiscal year. This is a guarantee that we got. And remember, Bloomberg did not put any money in the budget for contract negotiations. Zeros for 12, 13, and 14, and then he only put in 1.25% for 15 and 16. So we have to be very careful of this, and we have to stay on top of it, because this is one of these things where what I call grimy. I mean, they're not even thinking about us. Another thing, as you heard, the Supreme Court upheld Obamacare. Now, I want everybody to keep in mind that I think it's about $650 a year in tax they will charge you, or 2.5%. Now, keep in mind that if people don't have health insurance, the burden of the health insurance falls on the people who have health insurance, the people who are working. So to have Obamacare, a lot of people try to look at it negatively, but if a person goes to the emergency room and doesn't have health insurance, or they go for an operation that doesn't have health insurance, the burden of their health insurance goes totally on the people who are paying. So I want everybody to keep that in mind. And let me remind everybody again, we start contract negotiations with the city in September. We're starting to collect some money that's owed to us, which should also stop the flow of layoffs that we've been getting. And good and welfare this week. NYPD, Maria Vasa Trigger, her brother passed away, and our sympathy and our love goes out to this sister. Until next week, this is Robert Ajay. Have a good week. Thank you.